Hi everyone. Welcome to the channel. In today's video, we will go through the top 6 common interview questions and answers. I'm gonna give you some tips on how to answer them positively, and then I will also share with you sample responses to these questions that you can use during your interview. Okay, let's get straight into the presentation, and please take notes along the way. Question number 1. Tell me about yourself. This is generally an introductory interview question that gives you the opportunity to warm up. You can be prepared for it, but here's a few additional tips before you answer this question. Concentrate on telling the interviewer about your work-related skills as opposed to your personal life. They might appear to be interested, but trust me, they're not. The interviewer wants to know if you're going to be a good fit to their team and whether you've got the skills and attributes relevant to the role. It is important that throughout the whole interview, you use power words in your responses such as, I'm a motivated person, I'm really enthusiastic, I'm loyal, I'm flexible, I'm a committed person, I'm adaptable, etc. Now these will resonate positively with the interview panel. These positive words that you put across will make the interview panel feel good about you because they want to employ people who are positive, motivated, flexible, and committed. Trust me, I'm an employer who interviews all the time, and this is what I want to hear from people. Okay, let's have a look at a good sample response. Tell me about yourself.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be interviewed for this position today. I have studied the job description and am confident I have the skills, qualities, and the qualifications needed to excel in the role. I have a can-do attitude and is able to deliver results on my own initiative with minimal supervision. I have an impressive track record of achievement. For example, in my previous role I received a top customer service award for helping the company find ways to increase sales by improving customer service standards. I am the type of person that has a positive mindset and will make sure I take responsibility for my work and ongoing professional development. If you hire me in this position, I will be able to hit the ground running and add value to the organization immediately.
I have a more in-depth separate video detailing some additional tips on how to prepare for the introduction and a sample script on how to introduce yourself in an interview. If you are interested, you can click on the link provided in the video description. Okay, now let's move on to question number 2. Why do you want to work here? Here's some tips before you answer this question. Tell the interview panel about the preparation work you've done in the build-up to the interview. Focus again on power words about yourself, how you are a good fit to the team or company, and any additional information you have researched from the company's website. Before you attend the interview, you should have looked on their website and also looked at some feedbacks from Glassdoor.com. Focus on the About Us and Products and Services section to understand more about the company. So let's have a look at a sample response. Why do you want to work here?
Having studied the job description and company background, I am confident I will be a good fit and have the skills, qualities, and attributes to carry out the job to a very high standard. I also feel the role will give me a new, fresh challenge, something which I've been looking for some time now. Having also studied your company in detail, there seems to be a very positive approach to employee engagement, and I also very much like the way you strive to deliver a high standard of customer service. I certainly want to work in a company that looks after its employees and customers. During my research, I have seen positive feedback who worked for you, and they had nothing but positive things to say about your company. Now if I am successful, I plan to contribute positively to the company and grow with the organization.
Okay, question number 3. What are your strengths or weaknesses? This is a really common interview question, and regardless whether the interviewer is asking for your strengths or weakness, the general approach to answering this question should be the same. Let me give you some tips again. Focus your strengths on the job description and requirements for the role you're applying for. So if one of the requirements of the job is it is a regional role and you are required to work with colleagues from different countries or region, then you should say I'm great at working with people and enjoys working in a multicultural environment. Say something different in your response that makes you stand out from other job applicants, so you could give an example here of why you're better than the other applicants and try to make yourself relatable and real. What are your weaknesses is obviously an opposite to what are your strengths. For this response, anyone who tells the interview panel they have no weaknesses is telling a lie. Now we all have weaknesses, and it is important not to say, I've got no weaknesses. No one is perfect. The key to answering this question is to avoid mentioning a weakness that is part of the key requirements for the job role. Turn your weakness into a positive. Okay, let's have a look at a sample response.
I have many positive qualities and attributes to bring to this role, but I believe my main key strengths are I have a positive and growth mindset. I am always looking for the positives in every situation. I am a great team player and I like to mentor and help develop other people by sharing my experiences. One thing that I feel makes me stand out from the majority of employees is that I am always looking for ways to improve the way I perform at work and also help improve the team. I do have one weakness, and that is I sometimes get slightly irritated when people don't carry out their work to a high standard, because I set myself high standards and expect others to have them too. This is not always the case, although it can irritate me at times. I have learned to focus on my own job and do it to a consistent high standard, but having said that, I have recently been trying to turn this weakness into something positive by helping fellow team members to improve. So if I notice a member of the team struggling or not performing to the required standard, I will always offer to help them improve, which I feel can only serve to have a positive impact on the organization and its goals.
Question number 4. Where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years' time? Again, this is a common interview question. Here's a few tips. Now, loyalty is really important to the vast majority of employers. Remember, they've spent time, money and resources training you up in the role, so they want to see a return from their investment. It is thus important to stress you plan to stay with the company for the long term and grow with the organization and hopefully move on to a more senior role. A good response will be like this. Where did you see yourself in 5 years' time?
If I am successful today, the first thing I plan to excel in the role and hit the ground running as soon as possible. I would like to consolidate my skills and become experienced within the team. As I gain more experience, I hope to be a well-respected member of the team and impart my skills and experience to fellow colleagues. If the opportunity presents itself for me to progress within the organization, that would be amazing. All in all, I plan to stay and grow with the company long-term if I am successful in getting the position.
Question number 5 and its goals. What makes a good team member is a really common but tricky interview question, especially for new job applicants or fresh graduates to the job market. Here's some tips. List the qualities I am going to give you in the sample answer that follows. Then back up your answer with a specific example of when you have worked well as part of a team. For fresh grads, you can highlight a project you have done in school. Make sure you use the STAR technique in your response. Now, the STAR technique is when you describe your response or the situation using a structured format. You explain what the situation was. You then explain the tasks that you have to carry out. You then explain the action that you undertook, and finally what was the result following your actions. Employers are always looking for specific or behavioral responses to some of the interview questions. By following the STAR process, you will 100% be able to nail the response in a structured manner. Okay, here is a great sample response. What makes a good team member effective?
Teamwork is vital in any organization, and I feel what makes a good team member is having good communication skills. Because first of all, to have the ability to focus on the end goal, great communication amongst the team is key. It is important that every member of the team knows what they are going to achieve and how they achieve the task. Being supportive of the other team members and learning from any mistakes that were made, so that things could improve for next time. A team is only as strong as its weakest link, and it is important that everyone within the team works together and helps each other out.
And finally, question number 6. Can you give an example of when you have worked well under pressure? Another common interview question here. Here are some tips before we get into the sample response. Try to give an example of when you carried out a difficult pressurized task under strict time constraints. Give a specific example and don't forget to use the STAR technique in your response. So again, situation, task, action, result, and the response. A good sample response will be like this. Can you give an example of when you've worked well under pressure?
Yes, I can. I am often required to carry out time-sensitive projects under pressure, but one particular incident springs to mind. I worked in a technology company that delivers critical services for our clients. There was once my manager called an urgent team meeting, and he explained that a large project has just been awarded and the company needs to deliver the system to the client within a short period of time. As we will not be able to hire additional project resources in time, he asked all of us whether we would volunteer to lead a project team together with him on this special project startup. I immediately put my hand up and volunteered to help. as I could see that this project is huge to the company and everyone needs to chip in to make this project happen in time. We immediately started planning. I would utilize my project management skills to organize the required resources and tasks for my specific track in the project, and we managed to achieve the project goals within budget and time.
I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please do give it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you like to see more content in the future. Thank you very much for watching, and I wish you all the very best in passing your interviews.